Hey, what's up guys, TechTine here, and Samsung is finally releasing, or supposedly releasing, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, which is a direct response to the Motorola Razr, which is presumably the budget of flip phones, and then there's nothing really like it that's around $699. So Samsung is joining in on the action, and there's a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about in regards to the Z Flip 7 FE, or should we just call it the Z Flip 6 recycled, because that's almost what it is. So let's have a conversation about it. And so from a design perspective, like I said, it looks very similar to the Z Flip 6, if not the same. Now, the one thing that I like about this kind of design is the almost squared off rails versus the rounded rails that you'll see on the Moto Razr, which is the direct competitive of this device. And I'm more so a fan of the kind of squared off rails. Now, the one thing that I do have to give the Moto Razr that I hate about the Z Flip 7 FE and even the Z Flip 6 is the fact that the secondary display doesn't go all the way around the cameras. So it makes these kind of little lines that look funky and just look out of place. Not really the biggest fan of that. Now, I do have to speak on the material choice that Samsung decided to go with, which is this glossy glass material that we're used to and accustomed to, which is not as fun as the kind of Moto Razr. So circling back to this display real quick, so your main display is a 6.7 inches, 85.5% screen to body ratio. It is dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. It's a 1080p screen that reaches HDR10 plus rating and has a peak brightness of 2600 nits. Now the secondary display is kind of a lower resolution, 60 Hz, 1600 nits of peak brightness, a 720p display with the dimensions of 3.6 inches. And like I said, the secondary display is almost funky, but it is what it is. Now, if we dive in a little bit to the specs of this phone, so this time around, you will have the IP48 dust and water resistant. Dust is 1 millimeter and water resistance is 1.5 millimeter up to 30 minutes. Now, I do want to say that it does also have the Exynos 2400 chipset. It's a 10-core processor and the X-Eclipse 940 for your GPU. The base storage is 128 gigabytes with 8 gigs of RAM, and you also get a 4000 milliamp hour battery with 25 watt of fast charging and 15 watts of wireless charging. Now, I want to take a second. I know I've been making a lot of comparisons between this and the Moto Razr, but the charging speed of the Moto Razr is a little bit better than this, and the wireless charging is basically the same. Now, in another category that I want to speak on is the camera itself. So you get a 50 megapixel main sensor with a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 4K video recording, and a selfie camera of 10 megapixels. But of course, you can use your main screen or your main camera as your selfie camera if you want something better. Now, overall though, my thoughts on this device are the following. So I get that it's a recycled Galaxy Z Flip 6, but the thing that you can take out of it is that you will get more up-to-date software, so that's something that you can put a thumbs up for. And again, it's Samsung, I guess, realized that, hey, let's test out the market and see if a budget flip device will kind of move more consumers towards that type of market. Me personally, I'm still not convinced. One of the issues that I did have with the Moto Razr is heating problems. So if Samsung can find a way to manage thermals on the Z Flip 6 or the Z Flip 7 FE, then I think they might have a winner. And Samsung has a big market share in this flip and foldable world. So we'll see how they do. And am I excited? Kinda, just to see that what the competition has to bring, and more competition means better phones for the consumer. So we'll see. With that being said, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the device. If you think that you'll like it, leave a thumbs up. If you think that you'll hate it, also leave a thumbs up on the video, but let me know why you think you'd like it or hate it. So with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate you subscribing. But real quick before I let you go, so price hasn't been kind of declared just yet, but hopefully it makes sense, because if you're going to price this phone at $799, then I think we have an issue. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.